Are you thinking about moving to Glendale, California, and want to know what it's like to live in one of its most historic neighborhoods? Well, today I'm going to be talking about Rossmoyne, a community filled with history, charm, and beautiful homes. I will cover its history, the lifestyle, pros and cons, with the real estate market, and what makes Rossmoyne stand out amongst Glendale's greatest neighborhoods. Rossmoyne is a historic district located just northeast of downtown Glendale, tucked against the Verdugo Mountains. It's surrounded by neighborhoods like College Hills, Woodbury, and Greenbrier. It's also only minutes away from shops, restaurants, and downtown Glendale. The neighborhood is known for its tree-lined, gently curving streets, beautiful historic homes, and it has a strong sense of community. Overall, Rossmoyne covers about 505 parcels, which most of them are single-family houses, along with Nibley Park. Most of the homes here were built from 1923 all the way to 1950, which means that the neighborhood has been around for about 100 years. You can definitely feel this in the history and in its character. The land was originally part of Rancho San Rafael, a 36,000-acre land grant given to Jose Maria Verdugo in 1784. Fast forward to 1870, and Judge Erskine Mayo Ross bought about 1,100 acres of that land and named his ranch Rossmoyne. Judge Ross served on the California Supreme Court and federal courts, and he turned his land into a successful citrus and olive grove business. He even helped found the township of Glendale, which was incorporated in 1906. Then in 1923, the Haddock Nibley Company bought 800 acres of the Rossmoyne Ranch for $2 million to create a residential community. They went big and invested another $1 million in improvements such as curving concrete streets, ornamental lighting, and preserving fruit trees and oaks. In order to market the neighborhood, they built an Egyptian revival style sales office, put up giant hillside Rossmourne signs, similar to the Hollywood sign, and leaned into what was called the garden suburb idea, meaning that instead of just putting these houses on a grid of streets, they actually wanted the neighborhood itself to feel like a well-designed, park-like community. By 1926 to 1927, the area was booming, with over 375 homes built by 1930. Marketing emphasized natural beauty, peace, and proximity to Los Angeles. It also quickly became a desirable spot for middle and upper class families. During the Great Depression, development slowed down, but the area rebranded as Rossmoyne Village. In the 1930s, the city stepped in with WPA funding to build Glendale Community College, the Civic Auditorium, Verdugo Park, and many more. Development started to taper off after World War II, but by the late 1970s, the neighborhood was essentially built out. Today, Rossmoyne is recognized for its architecture and history, with over 80% of its homes considered historic. 13 properties are even listed on Glendale's Register of Historic Resources. One of the biggest reasons as to why people love Rossmoyne is the architecture. Most of the homes here were built between 1923 and 1950, and they showcase these stunning period revival styles. You'll see Spanish colonial revival, Tudor revival, French influences, and even some Mediterranean touches. The homes were designed with restrictive covenants back in the day to ensure quality and consistency. so that the whole neighborhood feels cohesive and charming. While the homes are historic, many have been updated with modern comforts, so that way you get the best of both worlds. Historic charm with today's functionality. The streets were deliberately designed to curve gently with very few through streets. That means there's less traffic, more peace and quiet, and a neighborhood that feels safe and welcoming. As far as living goes, you're pretty much close to everything Glendale has to offer, like the Galleria and Americana, restaurants, and downtown Glendale. Plus, you're only a short drive to Griffith Park or the LA Zoo. Inside the neighborhood itself, you have Nibley Park, which is a centerpiece for residents. It has green space, tennis courts, and a playground. It's also where a lot of community activities happen. Speaking of community, Rossmoyne has a strong neighborhood spirit. There are annual picnics, holiday celebrations, home and garden tours, and historical events that bring people together. So you might be asking, what are the pros and cons of living in Rossmoyne? Well, first, the historic charm. These homes are absolutely beautiful, and the neighborhood is sort of like you're stepping into a time capsule of the 1920s and 1930s architecture. The second pro is it's quiet, peaceful, and it's thoughtfully laid out with curved streets and minimal traffic. The third pro is that you have very easy access to the freeways, so commuting to other parts of LA or the surrounding areas is very, I wouldn't say very easy, but it's pretty doable. Fourth, the community is vibrant. There are events and gatherings that happen. This gives it a very friendly, connected feel. And also, from an investment perspective, homes here tend to hold their value pretty well. Now, as far as the cons, real estate is pretty expensive. A 3 to 4 bedroom home typically starts around $1.5 million, and larger properties can go all the way up to 3 to 4 million. Rentals can range anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 for a larger home. It's also very car dependent. Back in the early days, Rossmoyne had a streetcar access, but that went away in the 1930s. So now you really do need a car to get around. Another thing worth mentioning is the neighborhood's history. Like many other communities developed in the 1920s, Rossmoyne had discriminatory racial covenants in its home contracts. These are illegal today, but they are an important part of its social history that should not be overlooked. And finally, while the neighborhood is cohesive, it doesn't represent the work of one master architect. Instead, it's more of a collection of builders and styles, which some people love, although others might prefer neighborhoods with a more uniform design. So that's Rossmoyne, historic, charming, and full of character. If you want to learn more about living in Glendale and the surrounding Los Angeles neighborhoods, make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.